Ladies and gentlemen, hello and good afternoon, good morning, good night. If you're watching from, my name is Tim from Brass Band and I'm proud to be your host today for the Australian National Online Festival of Bands. This festival is great. So we have bands from right around Australia who have recorded themselves performing some music for you all with a big focus on Australian composers, and we're going to play them all out as if we're sort of peeking in live to what it was like when they were performed. So we'll play out those recordings bit by bit. It's my great pleasure to be involved in this festival. If you recall, back at Easter time, a festival of this type was run, and that was sort of run instead of the Australian National Band Championships, and the festival went really well, really well received. I thought it was a great thing. So did everyone else. So the team behind the festival, they've moved it, and it's going to be its own standalone event from now until forever, pretty much. So it's great to be involved again. We have 9 bands we'll be hearing from today. Lots and lots of really great music, and we've got a couple of interviews we'll be getting to as we go along as well. As always, we've got live chat, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can type chat questions. We're also on Facebook, so if you're there, you can go away, and there's the Brass Band live chat as well, which is probably the one I'll be checking the most. If you do want to get a bit interactive, we'll be talking there. We might jump across to Jeff Markham, who's going to give a recorded introduction to this festival, then get right into the music. If you're on brassband.com and you scroll down to beneath the video player, you'll see a list of the bands and who's performing. I might just go through them so you know what's coming up and when you might want to jump in and out. So we're starting off with Pass Shire Concert Band. They'll be coming up in probably about 5 minutes or so after the introductions. Then we'll be having Launceston City Band. Following them, we'll have Far Northern Brass, Geraldton City Band, then Victoria Street Brass, Arafura Wind Ensemble from the Northern Territory, hello, and we'll be finishing up with Canberra Brass. At the conclusion, we'll have some awards presented and sort of a recap on the musical aspects of what we've heard so far today. Okay, that's going to happen. The live stream should be rewindable depending on where you're watching it, and of course, most of the performances will be available on YouTube afterwards as well, as long as bands have gotten all of the correct copyright clearances for that. That's my understanding. Okay, ANOFOB 2021, welcome. It's great to have you here. Let's go across and hear an introduction from Jeff.
G'day, my name's Jeff Markham and I'm the President of the Band Association of New South Wales. It is a real pleasure to welcome you all to our first annual Australian National Online Festival of Bands. Following the success of the 2020 New South Wales Online State Band Festival and the 2021 Online National Band Festival, we quickly realised a number of opportunities this model of festival presents. The first was that the new format would provide all bands, but particularly those in regional areas, with an opportunity to participate in a large national festival event and receive constructive performance feedback, which they may not otherwise have the opportunity to do. The second was the opportunity through an event such as this to really support our local Australian composers. To this end, we reviewed the formats for the 2 previous festivals, removed pretty much all of the rules and created an event which provides a performance opportunity for bands across Australia. Being just before the end of the year, any feedback received can be immediately and usefully applied, with the music rehearsed for participation in the festival able to be immediately incorporated into your end of year performances. With no registration or membership requirements, bands can participate just as they would in their local communities. We also created a set of events loosely graded and grouped so that bands, and particularly the regional bands, would feel more comfortable in their participation while still maintaining the feel of a larger event. This, the first event in this new revamped format, was launched in June this year and initially received a very positive response. Unfortunately, the COVID gods were not with us, and before too long, New South Wales and Victoria entered into prolonged lockdowns, as well as a series of difficulties and different restrictions being in place all across the nation. This has severely impacted the ability of bands to rehearse and participate in any type of event, let alone the ANOFOB. But we are very pleased to be able to present to you a small but no less wonderful program for the 2021 event. With more than half the works being presented written by Australian composers, the event has already proven a success on that front. And as a preview to what we hope the event will grow into, I'm excited and honoured to share with you all the wonderful performances of the wonderful bands who have been able to participate in this year's event. I hope you will all enjoy watching as I have, and I look forward to seeing many more bands coming into next year's event. On with the show.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, some words there from Jeff Markham. Jeff, thank you for all of your hard work and everyone's hard work in putting this festival on. It's a great addition to the things that bands right around Australia can do, and it's great that bands don't need to travel to be involved in this. And I think that's reflected in the diverse geographies of bands who we have today. So let's get started with some music. I think that would be a good idea. Hello, Russell, on the chat. Hello, Anthony, as well. Great to have your company. We're going to be diving in with Parks Shire Concert Band, their conductor, Duncan Clement. They'll perform for us 4 pieces of music. Excuse my eyes while I try and check what's what. We'll be starting off with The Wombat Shuffle, composed by Roger Perrin, then Suite from Water Music, Danger Zone, then finishing with St. Clement. And so Parks Shire Concert Band from regional New South Wales are going to now perform for you their first piece. We hope you enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? Congratulations to the Parks Shire Concert Band kicking off our performances here this afternoon. That was their performance of Wombat Shuffle. Wombat Shuffle was actually the first piece I ever played in a band in a public performance, I think back in like the year 2000 at the Melbourne School Bands Festival. Very fond memories of that great work. And what a great way to kick off this festival. And we'll see as we go through the different ways that bands have recorded themselves for your pleasure, listening and viewing pleasure. And Parks has done a sensational job. We'll jump into their next piece now, which is the Suite from Water Music by Handel, arranged by Johnny Vinson. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that applause suite from Water Music for the Parks Shire Concert Band? We'll keep going, it's got a lot of music to get through, and we do have the conductor of Parks Shire Concert Band on the line ready for an interview after their final piece. So, speaking of live interviews, what could possibly go wrong? Let's get a soundtrack to that thought. Stand by for The Danger Zone. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, more applause for Parks Shire Concert Band. Doing a great job, and you'll notice they're obviously performing individually with incredible social distancing going into these videos. And congratulations to all the bands for the quality of the videos submitted. Really, really great work. It's not easy editing those videos together, I know, so good work whoever has done that from Parks. Their final piece, all of Parks were together in the same room, and they'll be performing to finish off their set a piece called St. Clement. And The composer of this piece was Clement Schofield, and it was arranged by the conductor of the band, David Clement. So Clements across the board. Here we go for Parkshire Concert Band with St. Clement. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic work there from Parkshire Concert Band. Now, we have on the line the conductor and the arranger, maybe the original St. Clement, and we'll see if we can have a chat with him. We've got a Zoom link up going on. Technically, what could go wrong? We're about to find out live here on brassband.com. So, Duncan, can you hear? So, Duncan, can you hear me?
Yes, Tim, thanks.
No worries. Great to have you joining us. And thank you. Yeah, pretty good, actually. Pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah.
It's nice to be out of lockdown, hey?
Yes.
It's nice for us down here in Melbourne. Thanks for putting those videos together for us. Really enjoyed them. What was it like recording those sort of isolated pieces with everyone at home or not together in the same room?
Very time consuming. The main thing was getting a click track sorted out so that they would have something to play to when they were recording, and that took quite a bit of time. And then actually lining them up with a video editing program wasn't as bad, but it still took a fair bit of time because you move it 0.2 of a second, it still wouldn't line up, and you move it 0.2 of a second, and it still wouldn't line up, and you go the other way.
Sometimes they're just broken, hey? Yeah, just
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
So,
and did the band enjoy putting these recordings together? And what was it?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And getting back together all in one place again. How was that?
That was pretty good. That recording was actually from last year. So in the band room, yeah. But it was great getting back together after the lockdown finished. And when you said that we had some good social distancing happening. Actually, we have one of the players there comes from Cowra, so that's about 100 k's away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably the most social distance we'll get in any of the performances, I think, this afternoon.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Parks Shire Concert Band?
It started off as a brass band in the mid 1800s, and about 25 years ago, I think it was, we became a concert band, and not long after that, then we became incorporated. So we've been around for quite a while. Of course, we've had our ups and downs as far as membership numbers go. You just get them trained up, then they go away.
Rotten, isn't it? How dare they?
Yes.
And how long have you been involved with the band for?
This stint has been about 7 years. I went away for work to Dubbo and then full-time army. So that was about a 15-year gap. And I was probably about 86, I think, was my first sort of starting point with the band.
Yeah, cool.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, great that you're still there. Great that you're still there doing the work with the band. And what do you guys have coming up? Do you have Christmas gigs on the way?
We have an engagement on the 18th of December at the new Cook Park Pavilion. We're going to play a few Christmas carols there as part of the... this is the second time they've done the Parks Arts Revival Festival.
Great.
Yeah, so we played at that last year as well.
Yeah, excellent. And do you have many new members about to join, or what do you do to recruit to get people into the band? How's that go for you guys?
We do recruiting drives through the local primary schools.
Awesome.
Of course, at this stage, we haven't been able to do that for the last couple of years.
Yeah, rough. Yeah.
We have one lad who's about 11 at the moment. He's the youngest member of the band. He's doing quite well. Yes, a bit of a struggle trying to get new members. Yeah.
Oh, every band I think around the country is always looking for more members. But it was really fantastic to have your recordings, and thank you so much for putting them together and being part of this Australian online national festival of bands. So thanks for all your work, and fingers crossed we can catch up in person sometime in the future.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah, that'd be great.
It'd be really great. Duncan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back. Duncan, you're off. No one can see you now. Feel free to hang up that Zoom. Loyal viewers, Tim from Brass Band. I was just chatting with Duncan Clement, conductor of the Parks Shire Concert Band. They were the first band getting their performance up and online here at the 2021 Australian National Online Festival of Bands. Great to have your company, and the whole idea of this festival is that bands from right around the country, wherever they are, without travelling whatsoever, can be showcased at a national level and really have this sort of fun festival environment where bands get to perform good music, we get to listen to good music, and everyone's really happy. Speaking of really happy, I know the organisers of ANOFOB will be very happy if I follow the schedule, which is what I'm looking at right now. Great. So we're going to move down to Tasmania. Hello to Launceston City Bands. Hope you're all going really well down there. And their conductor, Darren Papworth. Darren's unfortunately unable to join us for an interview this weekend due to work commitments, but we might see if we can catch him during the week just to have a little bit of a chat around how he found putting this all together. So let's get stuck in with Launceston City Band and their first performance, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. Here we go. Launceston City Band, ladies and gentlemen, when I survey the ones across. Apologies for my applause track there, just stopping at the wrong point. That was in no way a reflection of the fantastic work from Launceston. Really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for putting that together and the hard work. We have 4 more pieces from Launceston that we get to listen to. The next piece will be 3 Moon, and this is by Australian composer Ralph Holden. I've sent an email to Ralph to see if we can have a chat with him online, because he's an Australian composer. By the way, this Australian National Online Festival of Bands required that each band perform at least one piece of music composed by an Australian, and it turned out that half of the pieces in total were Australian compositions. So a really great way to be advancing Australian banding and encouraging new composers to come along and get stuck in. So 3 Moon by Ralph Holden. Here we go. Hope you enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Launceston City Band from Free Moon by Ralph Hogton. Ralph, of course, Australian composer, Melbourne-born, now living in Queensland. Speaking of Australian composers, next composer we have wrote the piece Momentum. His name is Brian Hogg. He's played by Launceston City Band. Now, I was on Facebook as I told Brian, can you join us for an interview? I wrote back, oh, sorry, Tim, it's something I'm busy, I'm actually something I'm movie. But he reckons the movie's going to finish at about 6:15. If he gets out in time, he's going to try and zoom in with us. So Brian Hogg, another fantastic Australian composer, who's composed Momentum, which we are about to be performed by Launceston City Band with their conductor Darren Papworth. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying. Here we go with Momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Launceston City Band performing Momentum by Brian Hogg. Great piece of music that I think we hear a fair bit of, which is good because I really enjoy the piece. Launceston City Band are doing an absolutely sensational job. Well done as well on the audio and visual recording. I think the band sounds really good, really nicely balanced. And who needs more than one camera shot, hey? If you can frame it that well, doing a really good job. Two more pieces from Launceston City Band. Next up, we will have Honour the Brave by Alex F. Lithgow, arranged by Joe Cook. Joe Cook, of course, living down in Tassie. Joe, I don't know if you're watching or not, but I hope you're great. Alex F. Lithgow, Australian composer. I've got him marked as an Australian composer, but I thought he was in New Zealand a fair bit as well. If anyone can tell me the life story of Alex Lithgow in the chat, that would be fantastic. I'd love to know more. I'm too lazy to check Wikipedia. My name's Tim from Brass Band. Thanks for watching. We're midway through Launceston City Band's set. Let's move on with their performance of Honour the Brave. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, more fantastic music from Launceston City Band. Loyal viewers, I hope you're enjoying the coverage here this afternoon. We have one more piece from Launceston, then we will discuss some other matters, but don't worry, the next band won't be too far away. They'll be followed by Far Northern Brass, who will be playing quite soon, and Far Northern Brass based in Cairns. Then we'll be heading right across the country to Geraldton over in Western Australia to hear their Four Works, then moving across to Victoria Street Brass from the Australian Capital Territory, then up to the Northern Territory for the Arafura Wind Ensemble. So it's not a huge number of bands today, but I think it's a really great turnout given the difficulties and lockdowns and the social distancing for rehearsing and performing that's sort of been in place across almost the entire country. Okay, one more piece from Launceston City Band. This is called Down Under, and I've got that it's arranged by Ed Wilson, and I've got that marked as an Australian composition, but I don't know if I've actually got the composer down. So let's have a listen and find out. Here we go, Launceston City Band's final performance for the Australian Online National Festival of Bands 2021. Here we go. Amazing work there from Launceston City Band and vocalist You were fantastic. I'm sorry I don't have your name, otherwise I'd be saying it very loudly because you did a great job singing there in front of the band. Really nice balance as well. Nice and simple AV setup. Came across a real treat. Thank you so much, everyone at Launceston, for putting that together. Now, a reminder, most of the performances will be available on the ANOFOB YouTube channel, and I'm sure links will be posted all over the place at the conclusion of this festival. So if you'd like to go and relive most of the performances, you will be able to a little bit later on. So far we've been to regional New South Wales with Parks, we've been down to Tasmania with Launceston, a bit chilly down in Launceston. How about we head up to far northern Brass, up in northern Queensland next? But before we do that, we will watch an ad from Buffet Crampon, who are one of the sponsors of this event. So there are lots of different sponsors for all the events, and community music making only happens with a big community of supporters behind it. So big thank you to Besson and Buffet Crampon for their support. Here's an ad from them now. Clarinets Sib Ella. There you go, you've heard it first from Buffet Crampon. Thanks to them for their support. So before we go on to the next band, Far Northern Brass, I was lucky enough a couple of hours ago to grab Nathan Wiltshire for a very quick interview. He was on vacation heading down to the Sunshine Coast, which I think is hilarious because it's down south for him, but for me in Melbourne, Sunshine Coast is like forever up north. It just sounds like this untouchable paradise. Anyway, we caught up with him for a little bit of a 10-minute interview, which we'll play for you now. Then after this, we'll be listening to their performances of Blainwern, A Perilous Journey, version 6, Just Cause, Free to Roam, and Castel Koch. A reminder, if you go to the brassband.com website, you'll see the full list of bands with performance order and all the pieces. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, too hard to post it everywhere. You can just head to Brassband to see what's going on. Anyway, let's have a listen to Nathan. Fingers crossed this works. And here we are. We're doing a Zoom interview. Who knows if it's working or not. Nathan Wiltshire, how are you going?
Sensational. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us for this chat. Sometimes it's a little bit weird having a chat, especially when they're remote and we're not in person. But you're the conductor of Far Northern Brass, yeah?
Yep, that's right.
And you're also the composer of two of the pieces that your band either just played or are about to play, depending when we do this interview, yeah?
yeah, that's right. So yeah.
So a little bit about the band. Would love to know exactly where are you based?
So Far Northern Brass is based in Cairns. Yeah, we're only about 7 years old now at the moment.
Cool.
So
yep,
it was just formed as just a group of people that wanted to, come and play on a Monday night, and we grew from about 7 people to, over 35 members.
Nice.
Day. So yeah.
Congratulations. And were you one of the founding members at the start?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And what inspired you to start the band and get going?
Oh, again, we just came together as people that just love playing brass music, and didn't want to have any of the stresses of contesting and things
Sure.
like that, that come with the higher tier brass bands. And, it's just relaxed, and yeah, that was basically it.
Are you looking for any new tuba players to join up? Because,
Uh,
as someone from Melbourne, I reckon North Queensland sounds amazing right now.
well, it is. Cairns is pretty amazing. Yeah, always looking for tuba players. Mind you, we have a fantastic tuba section at the moment, but I'm
Excellent.
sure they'd love to have you there. You play double B?
I try to play double B.
Okay.
It works for me sometimes. Yeah.
That's good enough for us. Yeah.
I'll come do an audition. We'll see how we go.
Yep.
So what's your band busy doing? What sort of performances? What's your sort of yearly schedule look like? And what's coming up in the next month or two that people might be able to come and see you live at?
Okay, yeah. So coming up with especially in December being a brass band, we've got a lot of Christmas gigs. Close to 20 over the
Wow.
Christmas period. Yeah. From
Like one every day. Yeah.
gigs. Well, pretty much. Sometimes we've got two on a day. Doing the shopping centres and with ensembles and things like that. We're doing one of the big carols events in Cairns at the showgrounds. We're doing our Bunnings thing. We've over the years we've had a good relationship with Bunnings and done their family nights and things like that. So we've got a couple of those coming up. So really busy, just doing what us brassies do at Christmas time.
Yeah, sweet. And do you get the feeling the band enjoys carols, or is it something they sort of can't wait until it's over and done with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, doing carols, I think the band's opinion of it is that at least we're doing something that we love. We love playing. So yeah. So they don't mind it as such.
Fair enough. I feel like I'm based down in Melbourne, and I know a lot of the bands down here. Usually they're like, "Our carols, nah, we're not that into it." But this year, I get the feeling everyone's just so desperate to play anywhere, and just the enjoyment you get out of playing music sort of makes it all a bit worthwhile.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So and we've been really lucky being up in Cairns and in Queensland, I suppose, as well. Not having many lockdowns. We've had the opportunity to have full rehearsals nearly every week, and as you'll see with the videos, apart from one that was taken at one of the concerts that we did, they were basically a regular rehearsal night for us. So
cool.
We're lucky to have the chance to have our 30 odd people come along to most rehearsals, which is fantastic.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So you've also composed two of the pieces that are performed today. When did you get into composing music? How did this start for you?
So composing, I started probably about 20 years ago. I started composing a piece called Alyssa Suite, which was used last year at, I think it was this festival last year. We recorded that, and I'd been working on that for 20 years, that piece. And since then, so since last year, I've had the bug of keep composing, and I've composed about 5 other things since that. So yeah.
Great. So, and we're hearing 2 of your pieces today. Could you just tell us a little bit about A Perilous Journey, V6, and the other one, Free to Roam, as well? Just give us the 2-sentence kind of, yeah.
Okay. A Perilous Journey. When the band decided to do this this festival, and I read that it was to be you needed to have an Australian composer, I went, oh, okay, there's a challenge. So I went I went to actually write a march, because I'd never written a march, a stage march or a street march. So I went to write a march, and then this was about 5 weeks before the cutoff date, and so I went writing, and then a couple of hours later, it kind of turned into a major work rather than a march. So
Awesome. Yep.
yeah, so I basically wrote it for this festival. So
Great.
yeah, that was pretty cool. And the V6 in the title,
Yes.
actually
Tell us.
stands for version 6. So over the 5 weeks leading up to the recording of it,
Yep.
the band copped V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and then V6 eventuated by the time we finished. So yeah, so it was a good challenge for the band as well, to have that, because we're a D grade band, we're not professionals. So it was a really good challenge for them to see the growth and to yeah,
that's fantastic.
interpret what I've done. Yeah.
It sounds like it's all sort of came together as rehearsals went through, which is it's really cool. And Free to Roam, the other one you've written for this. What's going on there?
So Free to Roam is a euphonium solo, euphonium and brass band. That great friend of the band, Dr. Fletcher Mitchell, came up and did a rehearsal with us a few months back. So I kind of wrote it for him because I'd never written a solo before, and we're great mates and have been for like 20 odd years. And so he set me a challenge to write a euphonium piece. So I wrote a euphonium piece, and there it is. It's about a grade 8 certificate of performance level type thing, which is a lot of fun to write and a lot of fun to play. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much for making the time to have a chat with us just now. I think we'll play this out before we hear your performances, so we're looking forward to hearing all the pieces, to hearing your band play.
Cool.
And hey, fingers crossed we can catch up in person sometime soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Success. Love it when a Zoom interview goes to plan. Thank you so much, Nathan, for coming and having a chat with us earlier today. Now, as you heard Nathan say in that interview, Far Northern Brass, himself and the band, they've just sort of recorded themselves in their rehearsal environments as they would on a sort of a general rehearsal night, doing a little performance. So it's a real sort of fly on the wall chance for us to watch them performing. We're really excited by this. So the first piece we will be hearing from them is Blainwern by William Rowlands, arranged by Ian McKnight. Here we go with Far Northern Brass. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Far Northern Brass. Doing a job. First recorded performance here at the Australian Online National Festival in 2021. My Tim Brass Band. My host is next 2 hours. It's a pleasure to be broadcasting these fine Australian bands to all the viewers all over the world. Next up, to hear from those underneath the church. We saw that just a few minutes ago. This is the Perilous Journey. Don't fall for it. Here we go forward to the world premiere of the brand new Australian competition, Perilous Journey 86. The Brass. Here we go. stage work, congratulations on the position, fun, brass, awesome job on performance. Great recording, music, another brand new music in Australia goes up. Welcome here, Australian Online. ANOFOB Australian National Online Festival of Bands 2021. I love a good acronym. We got very fun and brass. Set next is by another Australian composer, Melbourne. Jared can't even go. Jared stand by. Joining us for 10 minutes after get through fun and brass. So let's do fun and brass with their performances of Jared's piece, Just Cause. Just Cause, literally. Here we go. File, breaking in. Here we go. Thanks for watching. beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. From the brass. Funny breakfast. So Jared will speak to you in about 10 minutes or so. Space is free from Rome. Free from Rome. Also by Nathan, conducting band to find us. Welcome to 2021 Australian National Online Festival. Host of the afternoon. I hope you have a great time. I certainly am. Getting the right file ready to go. Here we are. Please enjoy Free from Rome. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can hear me okay at the moment. I heard the audio was a little bit funny for a while there, but fingers crossed everything's sounding good. I know for a fact the band music is sounding sensational because I'm listening. It's Far Northern Brass you've been hearing. They've got one more piece to perform. What they just performed was with Fletcher Mitchell, euphonium soloist, Free to Roam, brand new composition by Nathan Wiltshire. They'll be finishing off their set with a classic. It's an old composition, not a new composition, Castell Koch. Far Northern Brass performing for you now. Following them, we are very lucky to be joined by Jared McCunney. We'll be hearing from him in around about 5 minutes or so. Everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great time here at the Australian National Online Festival of Bands for 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to finish off the set there from Far Northern Brass. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all your hard work in getting those videos together. Really thoroughly appreciated. Great to have performances from all over the country here at the Australian Online National Festival of Bands for 2021. Now, as I mentioned, we're very lucky to have so many Australian composers represented in the programming today, and it's my absolute pleasure now to introduce live on a Zoom call, so absolutely nothing will go wrong, Jared McHoney. Jared, how are you going? McHoney. Jared, how are you going?
Not bad, Tim. Good to be out of lockdown. Good to have some of the music that we've written during lockdown here in Melbourne, live or semi-live, back in banding festivals is really exciting.
It's great. It's great to hear and to see bands performing, and like as a fellow Victorian, it's pretty cool that there are band performances and rehearsals taking place all over the state again. Now, Jared, tell me a little bit. We heard your piece "Just Cause" performed just before by Far Northern Brass. Tell me a little bit about the piece and the inspiration behind that.
It's an interesting one. I actually wrote it when I was in the UK in 2018, and I actually wrote it for the A4 Brass Quartet, which is a chamber group which actually features some of the principal chairs from the likes of Foden's, Grimethorpe at the time.
No big deal, hey?
I think it was between those lots. They had this composition competition for the 4 players, and I went, it was very tempting to put in all these technical challenges, but I went, I had this very simple compositional idea, and I went, we've got these really fantastic players. Why not give them a simple idea that they can explore, put their own musicality in? And I submitted this piece, Just Cause, as a quartet version, and it only went and got a runner-up place to a loss to a good mate out in Wales, Daniel Hall, if you're checking in the stream. He had an absolute ripper piece. But since I came back to Australia, Matt Close heard the quartet version and said, hey, I want to set it for wind band. And cool. then Fletcher Mitchell, who's was featured only just a moment ago, has always been a big advocate for the piece and really wanted to hear it converted to a brass band setting. So he suggested, why not get a consortium together? So there were 4 bands people that got together for a consortium commission of a brass band version, and Far Northern Brass was one of those commissioning bands. So they're one of 4 exclusive bands with possession of this arrangement until next year. Cool. So it was a really interesting commission collaboration to try and meet
it sounds like a really innovative commission process as well, to have sort of 4 consortium bands with sort of those rights for the music for a while. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, well, I think it's an exciting opportunity. It's financially a little bit more reasonable for the band compared to commissioning standalone work. But particularly the MDs got a chance to really voice what they wanted in the piece and what would make it achievable. So even though it was written for the top players in the UK, in brass banding in the world even, to then have this, to rearrange it for brass bands that suit, D-grade groups like Gold Coast City Brass or Far Northern, right through to, Fletch was involved. So bands like the Feds, they're capable of anything. So
absolutely,
it's a really interesting collaboration and something that, I'm certainly looking forward to pursuing in the future.
Excellent. Now, of course, this Australian National Online Festival of Bands is officially now an annual event, and this is the first official standalone version of the festival. Back next year, we're expecting bands from all over the country to once again be submitting recordings. There'll once again be a requirement for Australian composers. Do you have some new works in the pipeline that bands can get in touch about playing, about purchasing, about commissioning you for? How should they do that?
There's always new works in the pipeline, Tim. I'm working with a couple of different bands at the moment, as well as bands that have been waiting in lockdowns in different states around Australia with some new work. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of bands with works to perform at these events as well as elsewhere. So kudos to the Bands Association of New South Wales for supporting Australian composers. But otherwise, I'm on Facebook, Jared McHoney /composer. I've got a website, just Google away and you should be able to find me. And always open to discussing arrangements, compositions that are going to perfectly suit your band's needs. And it'll be fantastic. And it's not even myself. There's always plenty of other Australian composers that have had their works performed in Australia and beyond. And we're always open to have a conversation, to meet your brief, to meet your budget. We just want to get our music played just as much as you want to play music as a collective. So reach
just as much as we want to hear it, because it's great that I always think on one hand it's like and an Australian composition, it's like there's everything great and Australian compositions, but it's not at all the case. If we're just listening to the music going through, you can't tell it's Australian composition or one of the best in the world. They're all these pieces are sounding really top stuff.
Well, there's nothing saying that Australian composers aren't writing the best in the world, Tim. So
Exactly
we'll
right.
we'll show the world through events like this.
Definitely. Jared, thanks so much for joining us. We'll let you go now, but look forward to catching up with you soon in person.
Thanks, Tim. Well done with the stream. Love it as always.
Now, hopefully, Jared's gone. Jared, you can jump off the Zoom call. It's just me now. So don't forget, smash like, hit subscribe, look up Jared McCunney on all the socials so you can follow him and stay in touch for new pieces and get in touch for compositions as well. Because of course, it's one thing to play works that have already been written. That's fantastic. But even better is supporting Australian composers by commissioning them to write a work that'll perfectly suit your ensemble. There you go. A lot of composers around. Get in touch. We are now going to keep jumping along. Oh, I'll mention before, my audio went funny, apparently. If that happens, type in, let me know in the chat, because I can't hear myself, because that would be terrible to hear my own voice, because I'm Tim from Brass Band, and I don't like listening to myself. Next, we're moving across to Western Australia. Hello, Geraldton City Band. I do hope you're tuning in to watch. We have 4 pieces of music from Geraldton. We'll be listening to Lovers in the Air. Great piece of music, featured in one of my favourite movies. Cheek to Cheek, Strong to Save, and the Anzac March Pack Up. So let's get started with Geraldton City Band, all the way from Western Australia. Here we go. sensational work from Geraldton there. Love is in the air. I feel like we could almost have a karaoke sing-along, dance-along with that performance. That was sweet. Thank you so much for that recording, Geraldton. Very much appreciated it. If anyone from the band is watching at the moment who feels like doing a live Zoom chat with me, please get in touch. If you want to maybe, how should you get in touch? Hit me up on Facebook or send an email or just type in the chat that you're watching. You'd like to do a Zoom interview if you feel like it. It'll be friendly and nice. Just would love to know about the people who are performing today, which is why we're working to get interviews in between. So while the members of Geraldton City Band are drawing straws to see who's going to have a chat live on air, let's listen to their next piece of music, which is Cheek to Cheek. It's file number 16, so Tim doesn't play the wrong one. Here we go with Geraldton City Band performing Cheek to Cheek. There we go, Geraldton City Band performing for us. Great music, and a big hello to Melanie Penny. Melanie plays with Geraldton, or she's watching from Geraldton, but she doesn't feel like jumping on a Zoom call this afternoon. Absolutely no stress. Thanks for chatting in anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, loyal viewers, I hope you're enjoying the coverage here this afternoon. There are so many fantastic bands right around the country. We have just a small handful participating in this festival this year. As I said before, this is now a national standalone recurring festival. So if you're watching and you play with a band and you couldn't get recordings in, maybe you were in lockdown in Victoria or New South Wales or something like that, really consider getting something together for next year. There aren't really many rules. This is a festival, so you can kind of do what you like to an extent. You'll need to chat directly with the organisers to find out the exact rules, but from what I understand, that you need to submit your recordings, and at least one needs to be by an Australian composer, and that recording needs to be made in the 12 months prior to the festival. So from tomorrow onwards, bands can start recording themselves. There will be other few little details, but that's the gist of it. Please get in touch with the organisers directly if you'd like more information, and we'll see you here with your band participating this time next year at the Australian National Online Festival of Bands. Great to have something in the second half of the year to balance out the Australian National Band Championships for those bands who are able to attend that, and those bands that can do both. Great to have everyone on a national stage performing for each other. Geraldton have 2 more pieces of music for us to listen to. The next one will be Strong to Save. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, Geraldton City Band performing for you, Strong to Save. Once again, apologies about my applause track. It just dies out at the wrong point. That really should have been very, very loud, excited applause, because that was a really nice performance. I should mention as well that that piece and the next piece we will hear is both composed by Sam Creamer. Sam, an Australian composer. Go Aussies, go. So just one more piece from Geraldton. And after that, we'll be moving into Victoria Street Brass from the ACT, and then down, or then up to the Northern Territory, Arafura Wind Ensemble. I saw in the chat as well we have Per Forsberg watching. Per, fantastic tuba player, who was in Melbourne for a fair while, now living up in Catherine, I think. Great to have you on the chat, Per. Hope all is well for you. Let's get underway with the final performance from Geraldton City Band. Geraldton, thank you for putting the work in, getting the recordings made and participating in this year's festival. Fingers crossed we can hear from you and see you again next year. And maybe even I can catch one of your performances live someday. That would be pretty special. Here we go, Geraldton City Band with Anzac March, Pack Up, composed by Sam Creamer. It's file 18, so I should change the file. Here we go. Geraldton, thank you so much. That was great. Enjoyed your performance, and I hope we can hear more from you in the future, and maybe I can come across to Geraldton. Imagine a Victorian being allowed into Western Australia. One day it'll happen for sure. I'll come across and get along to one of your performances, because that sounded really, really fun. We have 3 more bands this afternoon, so we're coming towards the end of the festival. We have about another hour or so of music making. Next up we will have Victoria Street Brass, and following them we'll have a little bit of a chat with Ollie and Russell from Victoria Street Brass. After that, we'll be hearing from Arafura Wind Ensemble from the Northern Territory, then finishing up with Canberra Brass, and we're lucky enough to have Veronica Bolton available for an interview as well. She's a conductor of Canberra Brass. So a lot crammed into this next 60 minutes or so. Before any of that happens, though, thank you to sponsors and supporters of community music right around Australia, and a big thank you to Besson. I have an ad of theirs to play for you now. Let's see what their production values are like. There you go. Big thank you to Besson, and of course Besson have a number of associated brands, but great to have their support for this year's festival. We have two performances now. All the way from the Australian Capital Territory, we have Victoria Street Brass. We have some members of Victoria Street Brass as well we'll have a chat to after their final performance. They'll be performing for us Invercargill by Alex F. Lithgow, arguably an Australian composer. We'll claim it this time around. And the second piece they'll play is really hard to pronounce, so please forgive me. Schmelzendine. Schmelzendi. That's what they're going to play. It means Melting Giants, and it's written by Armin Koffler. But of course, we have some musicians from the band who will be able to pronounce that correctly for us a little bit later on. Let's get straight into it. This is Victoria Brass's first performance. It's Invercargill, Alex F. Lithgow. They're conducted by Adam Powers. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I've got to whip my headphones off because I like to listen with the good quality audio as it goes through. That was Victoria Street Brass, sounding really great with Invercargill. That's one of my favourite marches, I think, really well played. Great video and audio recording there as well to whoever put that together. Next up, we will hear them performing their second and final piece for the festival. It's great to have them here participating, and following this performance, we'll have a chat with Russell and Ollie from the band. So this next piece is the one I can't pronounce, but I'll put the title up on screen and we'll check in with Russell exactly how that's pronounced afterwards. Here we go. Hope you enjoy this next performance. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That was the second piece from Victoria Street Brass. I still can't pronounce it, but I'm very, very lucky because I've got two of the wonderful musicians from the band on the line. I've got Russell and Ollie, who we're going to jump to just now. Hey guys, how are you two going?
Good.
That's good. Now, Ollie, I understand you were the one responsible for doing the audio and the vision for those recordings. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And do you do much filming stuff, or is that one of the first times you've tried it?
I just love taking photos and recording videos and stuff. Yeah, just really
Yeah,
fun.
awesome. I thought you did a really good job. I thought it was nicely framed. The light was good, and the band sounded great as well. So that's probably also the drum kit player. I think did a pretty good job there. So it all helps. Now, can either of you two pronounce the name of that last piece for me?
You try first.
Smeltzenreiten. I don't know. That's
That sounds good. I think we'll stick with that. That's the official way to pronounce it from now on.
If you sound confident, that's official.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to repeat it because that's the last time that'll be said. So can you guys tell me a little bit about Victoria Street Brass? How long's it been going for and what do you guys get up to?
I don't know how long it's been going for, but typically we practice on a Monday night. Yeah, just
Nice. And do you have any like Christmas Carol gigs coming up that you know about?
You do?
we do. I'm not.
Do you know when they
sure.
are?
11th and 12th of December. So is Canberra Brass and Victoria Street Brass, two bands within the same organisation. Victoria
Yes.
Street Development Community Band. As we get back into rehearsals for the end of the year, we're just going to do mass band stuff all the way to Christmas.
Sweet. Cool.
Now. And yeah, we've got an opening of a rotunda in our local suburb area, so you've got to have a brass band at that. So we're doing some
You
carols
need
for that.
one.
And
Yeah, perfect.
yeah. And Hall Village, which is where Canberra Brass originally comes from, will be playing at their Christmas event on the 12th of December.
Wonderful. That's really exciting. And what other events do you guys do throughout the year? Do you have like a little concert series, or are there a few sort of Australia Day or Anzac Day ceremonies? What's a general year look like in your calendar?
Yeah, a little bit of mixed bag, and it's been a while since we've had a general year. Certainly always do Anzac Day, leading the march out at Queanbeyan is a bit of a favourite for us. We do some I think with the Merchant Navy as well. It's a bit of a tradition. We have a monthly concert series with our brass quintet at a local nursery, Rodman's Nursery, one of our sponsors. And yeah, certainly lots at Hall Village, which is kind of the traditional home of Canberra Brass.
Awesome. Sounds really fun. Now, Ollie, back to you, because I think you're probably more important than Russell for this. How long have you been playing with the band for?
I joined Victoria Street about a year ago. But
Awesome.
I've been playing drums for about 4 years, I think.
Nice. And why did you choose the drums?
Because I can annoy my brothers with them.
That's a great reason. That's fine.
Yeah, I like playing it. Simple, it's fun.
Yeah, excellent. Well, it looked like you had a lot of fun on stage. So thank you so much for your work on the drum kit, for your work recording, everything that's gone into, and please pass our congratulations on to the entire band. It's great to have you as part of this festival this year. So gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. Fingers crossed we can catch up in person sometime soon.
Absolutely.
And they're off. You're fine to hang up. You're not live anymore. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks, Russell. Tim from Brass Band. Thanks for joining us here at the Australian National Online Festival of Bands for 2021. We have 2 more bands to go. We have the Arafura Wind Ensemble. They'll be playing about 30 minutes of music, and then we'll have a short break. We'll be joined by Veronica Bolton, who's the conductor of Canberra Brass, and Canberra Brass will be finishing off with Windows of the World, a sort of a classic A-grade brass band piece of music. Arafura Wind Ensemble from the Northern Territory. If anyone from Arafura is watching who would like to jump on a Zoom and just have a chat about what rehearsals are like and what you guys are up to, please let me know and I'll get you a link and we can get you into this. In the meantime, let's go across to Arafura's first performance, which is March and Procession of Bacchus. They're conducted by Stephen Pevley. This is the Arafura Wind Ensemble, file 21, pushing all the right buttons. Thanks for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. The first piece from Arafura Wind Ensemble, March and Procession of Bacchus. Next up, we have a fantastic program from Arafura Wind Ensemble. A bit of thought's gone into this one. So obviously March and Procession of Bacchus to start with, moving into Take on Me. Then Irish tune from County Derry. We'll have symphonic highlights from Frozen, and finishing up with Eric Clapton on stage. Thank you to Arafura Wind Ensemble. Per Forsberg playing tuba there. Per, you sound great still. Let's move on with Take on Me. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the stream here today. I will just mention before we move on, the week after, Team Brass Band will be live again with the Queensland State Band Championships. That's the 27th. We'll be live on the 27th of November with the Queensland State Band Championships. And on the 28th, we'll be live with Victoria Brass in Victoria. And that'll actually be the first time that myself has been at a live brass band event in nearly 2 years, so I'm pretty excited by that. Let's move on to Arafura Wind Ensemble's second piece, Take on Me.
Talking away, I don't know what to say, or say it anyway. Today's another day to find you, and we're shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. Take on me, take me out. I'll be mountain ends, but I'll be scrolling away. Today's another day to find you, and we're shying away. I'll be giving you love, okay? Take on me, take me out, and I'll be gone. Just to see my worries away. You're slowly learning that life is okay, and you're shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. Take on me, take me out, and I'll be gone.
That was so good. I enjoyed that. Sorry, I shouldn't say that was so good. I enjoyed that very much. I thought it was a wonderful performance. Shalom Carr, the singer there accompanying Arafura Wind Ensemble, or was Arafura Wind Ensemble accompanying him? Either way, a fantastic performance. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We're going to move right along now with two works from Percy Granger. The first time we've heard Granger's music here at this festival, which is interesting considering he's probably one of the big names, particularly in concert band repertoire of the start of the last century. So great to have his works on display here. We have Irish Tune from County Derry, as well as Shepherd's Hay. Let's see how this goes with Arafura Wind Ensemble performing Irish Tune from County Derry. Absolutely beautiful from Arafura Wind Ensemble. That, of course, was Irish Tune from County Derry by Percy Granger. I mentioned it was also going to be Shepherd's Hay. That was incorrect. Apologies for that mistake. Arafura Wind Ensemble sounding really, really classy. Thoroughly enjoying your performance. Next up, we have the band performing symphonic highlights from Frozen. So once again, Arafura Wind Ensemble with their conductor, Stephen Pevley. this time with symphonic highlights. Frozen, here we go. Another lovely performance from Arafura Wind Ensemble. Symphonic highlights from Frozen. Some real toe tappers in there. If you don't know the words to at least most of those pieces of music by now, I feel like you might have been living under a rock. We have one more piece from Arafura Ensemble, and we've got Stephen Pevley, the conductor, on the chat. We'll see if we can get him into a Zoom call. And we also have Veronica Bolton, who's conductor of Canberra Brass, the next band, who we will definitely have on a Zoom call in a little bit. So with 2 more pieces of music for the entire festival, let's finish off Arafura's set with their performance of Eric Clapton on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go, some fantastic work from Arafura Brass. Now, I believe we will get an interview with conductor Stephen Peverley shortly, but before we do that, we're going to look ahead to our next ensemble, of course, Canberra Brass, and we're very lucky to be joined by their conductor, Veronica. Let's see, live Zoom calls, what could go wrong, let's find out. Veronica, what could go wrong, let's find out. Veronica, can you hear me?
Hello. Certainly can.
Hello. Welcome to the live stream. How are you going?
Thank you. Doing really well. Very wet here in Canberra at the moment. We're all inside watching.
I believe it's raining here in Melbourne as well, but I haven't been outside all day, so I couldn't really tell you. Now, Veronica, how have rehearsals been with Canberra Brass? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were across in South Australia with Marion City Band, then made the move across to Australian Capital Territory. That's right, yeah?
Correct. We haven't had a lot of rehearsals, I must say. We've spent a lot of time in lockdown, actually. I've been conducting the band for, I think it's about a year or pretty close to a year now. However, actually being in front of the band and conducting hasn't been huge because we've spent so much time in lockdown. But I'm fingers crossed really looking forward to next year, because that's it, we're finished, aren't we? We're all going to be performing on stage and we're really looking forward to it, I think.
Definitely. I think everyone around the country is going to be out every single weekend doing a gig somewhere, if they can. Has it been hard sort of gelling with the band, considering you probably haven't seen too much of them over the past year?
Oh, look, they're a very lovely bunch of people and they're very fine musicians. It certainly has felt a little bit different after being with Marion City Band for so many years, 15 years, to jump into a new band and to need to get to know people and to build up that sort of sense of rapport. And I think we're getting there. I really enjoy their company, and we get a few laughs in rehearsals now. So we are getting somewhere, and we're building our own new, I guess, community of a band with me at the helm. And it will be different from Marion, but it's still going to be pretty good. And we're really looking forward to showing you all very soon how good we are.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear it, of course. The performance of Windows of the World by Peter Graham coming up very, very soon. Before we do that, though, Veronica, where can people come to hear Canberra Brass in the next couple of months? What gigs do you have planned, if any?
We just have 2 Christmas Carol weekends gigs. So Russell and Ollie mentioned those earlier. So that's the 2 Christmas Carol events where we're just going to have massed band. We only have a few rehearsals really that we can get into between now and the end of the year. So hopefully we'll be out and about in a big way next year, and you'll see us at, we do a thing called Brass on the Grass at Hall. And so that will be one of our first gigs in March. And then fingers crossed, maybe we might be able to be part of one of the national band, the Nationals hubs.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, Nationals will be a great time. But a great time will also be listening to the performance of Windows of the World coming up very, very soon. Veronica, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you. We haven't caught up for a long time, I guess, and I'm sure the people over at Marion City Band are missing having you, and how lucky are Canberra Brass to have you on board as well. Thanks so much for joining us, and look forward to catching up in person sometime really soon.
Thank you, Tim.
There you go. And Veronica's off, so she's not live anymore, so if she's still there in the Zoom, she's free to hang up. My name's Tim from Brass Band, and we're here at the Australian National Online Festival of Bands. We have one more band to go, of course. That is Canberra Brass, that performing Windows of the World. After that, we'll be hearing, fingers crossed, from Stephen Peverley, who's the conductor of Arafura Wind Ensemble, whom we just heard. After that, we'll have the wrap-up and some results, so we'll be all finished up in about the next 30 minutes or so. But here we go with Canberra Brass's performance. Here it is. Thanks for watching.
Oh, hello again, everybody.
Loyal viewers, I tricked you. I tricked you completely. That was the results video, which will be coming to very, very shortly. Before we do that, though, we're very fortunate to have gotten onto Stephen from Arafura Brass. Stephen, Arafura wind, Arafura wind, Arafura wind, I've been told.
Ensemble, yeah.
Arafura Wind Ensemble. How you going, Stephen? What's going on?
Yeah, really well, Tim. Really well. It's I've got a storm brewing here. First one for a few days, so it might get noisy.
We'll have to wait and see. It's cold in Melbourne. It's raining down here. I think it's about 10 degrees, so I'm envious.
It's about 32 here.
Oh, tough life.
It's getting cooler. It's getting cooler as we speak.
Good to hear. Great to hear your band perform, Arafura Wind Ensemble. You guys participated at the Easter Festival as well, is that right?
We did. We were delighted to get a platinum for one of our works, which was fantastic. It's the first time any NT ensemble had ever competed in the sort of national band championships, it was a great inaugural result, I think. So good on the
sensational.
band.
Doesn't get much better than platinum, I'd have to say. But it's really wonderful to hear the band performing at a national event, and of course this festival is going to be happening every year from now, they tell me. So fingers crossed you can keep on getting some recordings together. What have you been up to as a band between Easter and now? What's been going on?
Well, because the territory's been relatively COVID-free, we've been incredibly lucky, and we had a very we had a second busy year because 2020 was pretty busy, but 2021 continued in the same format. So we did about 5 or 6 or 7 outdoor gigs during the dry season, which is where we really get busy, because it's a fantastic time of year to play outdoors, and the local Darwin City Council sponsored us for a few of those, so we actually got paid for playing, which is our main source of income. So that's always
very nice.
good. And it's incredibly advantageous because we're playing all the time. We had some works prepared in quite a compressed time frame to actually prepare for this recording. So we had a few charts up our sleeves, and I just had the band had to work hard to get it to the level you heard this afternoon. So it was really very pleasing to see the band performing so well.
The band, I very much enjoyed the performances from the band. I didn't think it sounded under-rehearsed at all. So it's great to have that sort of that stuff in the back pocket to pull out, I guess.
It sort of reflects, and it reflects what we do outdoors as well with Shalom. He's our but for many outdoor gigs, he's also our MC. So he performs a pretty important role for our dry season concerts, and he always likes performing Take On Me, so I thought we'd throw that one in.
He sounded pretty great. That's quite a vocal range to manage that.
It is, yeah.
I've tried that in karaoke myself, and it never goes that well.
Yeah.
What does the band have coming up to Christmas? Do you have a big carols commitment?
We do. We've pretty much confirmed a sort of regional day tour to Catherine, to Tyndall Army Base, where we've been booked to do a carol service there. That's around a 660 kilometre round trip on the day. So
on the day, gee,
it'll be a big day out. It'll be a big day out, yeah. And then we've got a Darwin City Council carol service and a Salvation Army carol service later on in the month. So yeah, December's got 3 big events for us. So we continue right up to the last gasp of the year.
It's non-stop from the sounds of things.
It is, non-stop. Yeah.
Hope it all goes well. We'll have to finish it there, but thank you so much for your time and for your work getting the band together. Our congratulations to all of the band members for putting it together. It was very nice to hear. And I've such a pleasure to hear you guys twice in 1 year. Look forward to hearing more of it next year, hey?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for comparing so effectively.
My pleasure. Okay, and we're going to... And Stephen, if you're still there, you can close the Zoom. No one can see you anymore. We're all clear. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we should just mention as well, huge congratulations to Canberra Brass, who were the last band we just heard performing Windows of the World by Peter Graham, Veronica Bolton conducting some wonderful solos and some really, really nice ensemble playing from the band. We are now just at the official end of proceedings here, so what I'm going to do is stick to my run sheet, which tells me I've got to play an ad from Buffet Crampon. So once again, thank you to all the people who are supporting this event. There's a range of partners out there, Besson and Buffet, and all of the different people behind community music making who are making it possible for today. Here's an ad from Buffet.
Hi everyone, I'm Martin Frost. I'm holding in my hand a Buffet Crampon Prodigy clarinet. It's a great instrument, as are all student clarinets from Buffet Crampon. But what is more is, in buying one of these instruments, you are also contributing with €2 to our new started foundation. The Martin Frost Foundation's purpose is to give children and young people around the world the opportunity to receive music education and access to instruments. So in the end, I can only encourage you to get one of these clarinets and have a great long-lasting instruments, and in the same time contributing to music education across the world. Thank you.
Oh, hello again, everybody. I've been asked just to put a few comments together around the festival and some of the ways that I come up with my decisions in the assessment process. As I think many people have said before, this was never a competition. It was really a festival of bands. And the main purpose was to get bands playing together, getting back together after what has been quite a very difficult period of COVID-19, which has impacted most of the states across Australia. So the ANOFOB, I use a rubric for my assessments, as I do in all of my adjudication. But as I said, this is not a competition, but a festival of bands. So I use the rating system between 70 and 80 for bronze, 80 and 90 for silver, and between 90 and 100 for gold. Indeed, many fine performances. A real standout for me was the euphonium player from far north Queensland. Absolutely performance. The singers, fantastic to hear bands working with singers and vocals. Both were standout for me. Really enjoyed them. So what was I looking for? Well, really, the first thing is entertainment purpose. This is a festival of bands. So was the piece enjoyable? Was it suitable for a concert? And for how would audiences enjoy your performances? That for me was first and foremost. And in most cases, I really sat and listened and enjoyed what you were doing. As always, you were listening for the ensembles playing together, moving together, thinking the same. And I think for many bands, putting words around some of the performances, some of the melodic lines would really benefit. Obviously, intonation is a key thing for any ensemble. Interpretation, phrasing, style, tempi, all of those things work really well. And in most cases, there was a lot of attention to detail from our performances. Certainly for me, an enjoyable 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours of listening to some very good playing. Some moments where things went perhaps a little awry, but look, that's going to happen in all cases. And I think what we need to now focus is launching ANOFOB for 2021. Looking forward to this an event happening again in 2022. What was so pleasing was that the number of bands that took part from regional parts of Australia. Plus the fact that in your programs, I know it was a requirement, but we asked you to choose a performance from an Australian composer. And some cases, some of you picked more than one piece, which is very heartening. Also, having bands, 50% of the performance were works from Australian composers. So happy to hear all of those. Some of them for me very new, but again certainly very enjoyable. We'd love to say thank you so much for all of you for taking part. I hope you enjoy the weekend of music making and listening back to the band's performances, and I hope someday that we may get to work together in the future. A very final thank you to the Management Committee of Band Association New South Wales for making this happy, and for Tim broadcasting this live on Saturday. I think this will be the start of what hopefully will be a very, very big future. So thanks very much again, and goodbye and good luck. Thank you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, some words around this festival. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Now, of course, it's no competition, so there are no results, but it is a festival and there are awards. So very shortly, I'll be going through some of the awards for this festival. A reminder, we'll be back again this time next year-ish. This is now going to be a continuous festival, annual. This is the first time it's been a standalone event. We do hope many bands, all the bands who participated today, please come back next year, and maybe some bands who couldn't or weren't able to get a recording going this time around, maybe win. See you next year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just a few notes before we have the announcements of awards. Thanks for watching, first of all. Second of all, sign up to the Brass Band mailing list. You can like and follow Facebook and YouTube just to keep up with what's going on in banding in the Southern Hemisphere. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be covering Queensland State Band Championships. That'll be our stream, and then following that on the Sunday. So Saturday is Queensland States on the 27th. The 28th will be Victoria Brass, live from Melbourne. It'll be the first time that I've been to a brass band event in almost exactly 2 years. So that's pretty exciting. Hope you can join us for that. In the meantime, we're going to see if I can get these awards, their awards, to play for you, and then we'll close off this stream. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, so congratulations on your performances. These are the ANOFOB award results. We have Parks Shire Concert Band with 4 bronze awards. Congratulations to Parks Shire Concert Band. I hope you enjoyed participating in the festival this year. We certainly enjoyed having you here. Next up, we have awards for Launceston City Band. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silver awards. I think that will be the world record for the most awards at a national festival here in Australia. We have Far Northern Brass. They come away with 3 bronze awards, 1 silver award, and a half silver, half gold award for Free to Roam. Fletcher Mitchell, gold for Free to Roam there. For Geraldton City Band, our friends from Western Australia, we're delighted to have you taking part. 3 silvers and 1 bronze award. And then we have the awards here for Victoria Street Brass, silver for Invercargill, and silver for Melting Giants, silver for Melting Giants as well, Victoria Street Brass. Now, I did say it was a world record for the most awards at a national festival. It's been equalled here, 5 awards to Arafura Wind Ensemble. Very, very entertaining stuff on stage, and great to speak with their conductor, Stephen, very briefly before. And finishing off these announcements, we have Canberra Brass, awarded gold for their performance of Windows of the World. And of course, the Australian National Online Festival of Bands does not happen in isolation, so very grateful to everyone who has supported this, the New South Wales Government, the Band Association of New South Wales, Bess and London, Buffet Crampon, and Brass Band was very, very proud to be able to stream this to you today, wherever you are watching from. So loyal viewers, I believe that's the end of the announcements. So back to me. Thanks for watching. I will leave the stream active so you can rewind to watch things that you may have missed. And then following that, I believe videos will be released to the Australian Online Festival of Bands YouTube channels, depending on copyright clearances. Some of them will be available then, so you can go back and relive those lovely performances. What a success! Hasn't this been great? Look forward to more band events coming up in the next few weeks and indeed over the next 12 months, because in 12 months' time, we'll be back here once again. So don't forget, from tomorrow, you're officially allowed to start recording your bands, getting ready for next year's festival. My name's Tim from Brass Band. Thanks for watching. We'll stream you later.